Okay, hi Aurea, how are you?
Hi, Doug. I'm fine. How are you?
Great, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. You are here to promote a book. Your book is called Silent Freedom. You're a veteran of the 101st Airborne Division, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Oh, well,
Proud of it.
wow.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for your service to our country. You were in Iraq.
Yes, I was there for 4 years.
Okay, and that was during I forget the name of it now, but the Iraqi
Operation, yeah, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Iraqi Freedom, that's right. Okay. And that was under George W. Bush, right?
Yes, it was under his presidency.
Under his presidency, right. Okay. Well, that must have been quite an experience, to say the least.
It was.
I don't know where to begin with it. Do you have what was your take? What was your overall view? You were there for 4 years in Iraq.
Yes, I was there for 4 years. Yes. I actually, I have four parts in my book. I deployed with the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault in Iraq for 2 years. The first one was in 2003, and that was the beginning of the war. And I was caught in the middle of the war. We were performing soldier support actions in somewhere in Kuwait, and my commanding officer called me and he said to get back to return to Kuwait as soon as possible. So we did. But we broke down in the middle, and of all places, we were in the middle of the bridge, and so we had to take cover and in a defensive position, and the chaplain was with us. So we had a challenging first day of war, to say the least. And then the book is about the experience of our young valiant men and women, including mine, in our deployment to support the Iraqi freedom after the 9/11. So we were there. I was in the process of my divorce for 20 years of marriage from my husband, and then I was leaving a young child behind. And I wrote this book from a woman and a mother's point of view.
What was it like from a woman's point of view? Because if you were a combat soldier, obviously there aren't a lot of women in combat positions. There's some now. There never used to be any. So it's somewhat of a new venture for women. What was that like? Most of your crew were men, I would assume. Yeah.
Well, during the war, it was difficult because, the first part of my book, I was separated from my unit. I had to perform a critical mission with a large hospital, a combat hospital in the combat zone. And I was the casualty liaison, making sure that I cover all the casualty reports for the 101st and those that were attached to us. And when that mission was over, I called my commanding officer and he told me I can do two parts. Either I could redeploy with the 86th Combat Support Hospital to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, or I can rejoin them in Mosul, which is northern part of Iraq. So they were already in Mosul, and I was still performing a critical mission in Udari, Iraq, that is Banazuria. And then, so I decided to rejoin my unit because I was not about to leave my fellow soldiers, my soldiers behind. I was just didn't seem right to me. So my commanding officer said, it's impossible and it will take a miracle to rejoin them during that time. It was really difficult. It was impossible. So I told him, yes, it's impossible. So I, but I tried over and over talking to the other units that I heard were deploying to the northern Iraq. And nobody wanted to take me. It's one of them. They didn't want to be responsible with me. That was their alibi. So that's how I found out that it was difficult for a woman like me, for a woman soldier, for a female soldier like me, to hitch a ride going to the north. But my unit treated me and respected me well as a woman because we have several female soldiers.
Okay, so you received 2 Bronze Stars for meritorious service in a combat zone. What did you get those specifically for? What did you do?
First of all, soldiers who deployed in Iraq, just surviving that war-torn country should receive a medal. But the meritorious service medal is for working hard in a combat zone. We're working what we normally do at peacetime, but only in a hostile environment. We performed humanitarian missions outside the wire, and that was not easy, especially when the improvised, the IED became popular. It was just waiting outside the wire. So just a little mistake, it could blow up our vehicle and it could kill us. And for meritorious service meant to say that I was in the support or admin support, and we helped our soldiers working hard, our foot soldiers, our infantry, our engineers. We're out there every day. Our intelligence or soldiers, and the least we could do for them is that to process their pay so that they get paid on time and everything that they needed, any personal support that they needed. So we were there, and going to remote places like in Q West, we call it. And every time we perform a mission, we had to fly over. It was dangerous to perform or to conduct ground convoy. We were, we didn't want to lose anyone because of running over an IED, which is a killer, an RPG,
Can I ask what the pay is for a combat soldier, or what it was in those days?
It depends upon the rank, but any soldier deployed in a hostile environment like Iraq receives a combat pay, we call it. It's not really much, but it's anything extra would help a soldier, especially those with families.
Okay, because I have no idea what the amount is, but I would assume it's not
Not much.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Oh, no.
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 Okay, so everything's provided, so you really don't have to spend for anything. Yeah.
Correct. Healthcare and
Healthcare, everything is taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So your book is called Silent Freedom. This says it's a 4-part book. It's going to be in 4 parts. So this is part 1 that's out now?
It is actually, this book has 4 parts.
Oh,
It's
one.
all in.
Oh, I
It's
see.
all in there.
It's all in one book, 4 parts in one book.
I wanted to
Okay.
do like part 1 and then do a part 2 later, but that was very thin. It's just like 101 pages. So I decided to just combine my tours in one book.
Oh, all
I
right.
have another book coming, but it's a novel.
What is the takeaway from this book? If somebody picks it up, what do you think? What should they expect to experience in this?
That faith, to me, faith played a major role. It's how I overcame the obstacles. It's how I was survived combat, and it's the reason why I'm still here today. I had, Doug, I brought my Bible with me to the combat zone. And every night I read it. I actually finished it from cover to cover.
Wow.
It helped me keep my sanity with all the gunfighting and violence in Iraq. The other side, you know, throwing grenade at us, missile to missile, or actually when we were in Mosul, we heard this shush every night, every single night, landing on the same place at this on also same time every single night. And it took a while until we found the other side who was doing it. And I cannot really tell you the details, but we saw in the intel report that that's just how it took. It's horrible to see something, disintegrating a human being.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Were you wounded at all?
I was not. I was not wounded at all. But I saw and I've seen soldiers who were wounded and they were given Purple Hearts. And it's being a part of the Human Resources and Finance Department, we processed those medals for them. We made sure that they get a medal for getting wounded. The rule is that if they're wounded, regardless of how they were injured, they were in the combat zone, and that is the main reason why they should be getting Purple Hearts.
Right. So how long has the book been out now?
The book has been out now since September.
Okay. All right. How's it doing?
It's doing pretty good. And I have talked to several people who bought the book and have read the book, and people are still trying to finish the book. And they said they like it and they're enjoying it. And they are on part 3, and other people are in part 4. And it's really different stories in different parts for different parts, because the first one was my first deployment during the war. That was really intense. That was with the division. And then the second part is about my deployment. Well, the first one was in Mosul, Iraq. That was the intense part. And then the second part, we were deployed in the city of Tikrit. That was Saddam Hussein's hometown.
All right. Yeah.
It's in the middle of the desert. And the third part is when I retired and I decided to go back to Iraq. I cannot get enough of it. So I deployed to Iraq. I deployed to the place called the zoo. It's in Baghdad. And then the fourth is also in Baghdad. It's a continuation as a civilian contractor.
Well, we do have to wind this down. We are out of time. Do you have a website that you want to give out?
Yes. Please visit Silent Freedom 101st or 101st.com. It also connects to my Facebook. I hope you enjoyed the book.
Well, Aurea, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your experience.